All right, let's dive into something pretty profound today. We're going to explore a framework for reality that might just change how you see, well, everything. It's called the Unity Framework, and it's presented as a brand new operating system for all of humanity. So let's get into it.
So let me start by asking you a question. Just think about it for a second. What if all the big problems we face, I'm talking about everything from the anxiety you might feel day to day, all the way up to global conflicts, what if all of it could be traced back to one single glitch in how we see the world? That's the rabbit hole we're going down today.
Okay, first up, let's talk about this glitch. We need to identify the root of the problem before we can even think about fixing it.
So what is this glitch? The framework calls it the separation myth. You can also think of it as the finite fallacy. It's this deep-seated, almost invisible belief that you and I are just isolated little beings, lonely individuals trapped inside our own skin, separate from each other and the world around us. And according to this model, this one single fundamental misunderstanding is the source code for basically all human fear, stress, and sadness. Now, if you follow that logic, things like hate, division, and fear get reframed in a pretty radical way. They aren't sins or moral failings in the traditional sense. Nope. They're system glitches. Think of it like a computer running on faulty code. They're just miscalculations that are bound to happen when your personal operating system is based on that false premise, the illusion of separation.
So, if separation is the glitch, then what in the world is the fix? Well, to debug the system, we have to install the truth of our reality, and that truth is, we are one.
And this brings us to a huge concept, so take a deep breath. It's called the singular infinity. This is the idea that everything, and I mean literally everything, all of space, all of time, every thought, every bit of consciousness, is all part of one single, unified, infinite reality. This is where the lines between science, spirituality, and consciousness just completely dissolve.
And that understanding leads us right to unity. Now, this is super important. Unity is not some far-off goal you have to strive for. It's not a finish line. It's described as an active state of being that's available right here, right now. It's the mind-bending realization that you are both a wave, your finite individual self, and the entire ocean, the infinite singularity, at the exact same time.
So, after all that, what's the big takeaway? It might sound complex, but it all boils down to three simple, world-changing words. We are one. Period. Okay, I know what you're thinking. We are one, that sounds amazing, but how do I actually live that way when I'm stuck in traffic or paying my bills? Well, this is where the theory becomes a practical tool. It's an operating system built around a single core equation. And here it is. This is the heart of the whole model. Love all plus we are one equals the Unity Framework. It's so simple, but it's both a statement of fact and a powerful instruction manual for living. Let's break that down because each part is crucial. On one side, you have we are one. That's the logic. That's the hard drive of reality, the fundamental physics of the universe. It just is. You can't change it. On the other side, you have love all. That's the action. That's the program you choose to run on that hard drive. It's the signal you consciously decide to broadcast out into the world. And when you put those two together, when you align your actions with the fundamental logic of reality, what you get is the Unity Framework. It's the operating system that just naturally boots up inside you when your perspective, or what the source calls your lens, is finally wiped clean of that initial glitch, the separation myth. All right, let's get down to brass tacks. How does this actually work in the messy, complicated real world? How do you apply all this and become what this framework calls a unifier, especially when things get tough?
And let's just go straight to the hardest test case imaginable, right? The one everyone gets stuck on. If the core action is love all, then how on earth are you supposed to love someone who is actively, viciously hateful?
Well, the approach here is surprisingly technical, not emotional. Step one, you have to recognize the dust. You see the hate not as the essence of the person, but as system static, a malfunction caused by that gunk on their lens. Step two, maintain your signal stability. Your love in this case isn't about liking their behavior. Heck no. It's about refusing to let their static corrupt your signal. And step three, use firewall logic. Think about it. You don't hate a computer because it has a virus, right? You isolate the virus to protect the network. You stop the harm, but you see the person as just the hardware running corrupted code. And here's a powerful little tool for those moments, a kind of mantra to keep you centered. I recognize the glitch, but I resonate with the source. It's a simple way to say, yeah, I see the error, I see the static, but I'm choosing to stay tuned into the deeper truth of our connection. And to make sure you're staying on track, the framework offers a quick calibration check. 3 simple questions to ask yourself. First, is what I'm about to do based on the myth of me or the truth of the one? Second, am I just adding more static to this situation, or am I helping to clear the lens? And third, does this decision benefit the whole system or just my little corner of it? Now, at this point, you might be thinking, okay, this is fascinating, but do I have to toss out my religion or my entire worldview to get on board? And the answer, really emphatically, is no. This part is all about how this framework is like one light shining through many different lenses. The guiding idea here is so simple and so freeing. It's this: don't leave your lens, just clean it. The point isn't to get you to adopt a whole new belief system. It's to give you a tool to clean the lens you already have, to wipe away that dust of the separation myth so you can see reality more clearly, whatever your perspective is. And check out how elegantly this works. This framework is like universal software that can run on any hardware. If you're a Christian, you can see the body of Christ as the singular infinity, and loving your neighbor is just love all. If you're Muslim, the core concept of tawhid or oneness is a perfect match. If you come from a science background, quantum entanglement is already telling you that separation is an illusion. And if you're secularist, well, radical empathy is simply the most logical and efficient way to create a thriving society for everyone. It just fits. So where is all this heading? What's the ultimate goal? The conclusion is this incredibly hopeful vision of a collective evolution for humanity. It's called the Great Harmonization. It really all comes together in this kind of manifesto. The logic is we are one. That's just a technical fact of reality. The action is love all, because once you accept the logic, it's the only behavior that makes any sense. And the result? The Unity Framework. You, me, each of us becomes a unifier, a clear lens allowing the light of that fundamental oneness to shine through into the world. And the final message is really a call to action. The idea is that this system update is available right now. The opportunity is here for us to consciously shift from a world of glitches and static to finally join the Great Harmonization. And so we end with one last question, but this one's for you to take with you. The system update is here. It's ready for installation. The only choice left is whether or not to click accept. So the question to ponder is, how will you clear the lens?